We don't really know if we're all just lost souls already in the afterlife, he said as we walked through the woods towards the home of a mutual acquaintance. A bird chirped in the treetops, and I looked at the moon, giving a moment to myself, remembering my near-death experience 2 decades ago. I drowned under a dock at a summer camp. Not because I can't swim, because I can, but because I lost consciousness right next to the ladder that broke the dimensions between in the air and underwater. I don't remember the names or faces I met on that camp, but I do remember being myself, a cheerful kid, interested in most things, keen on a spiritual level, decent at situational comedy, and oftentimes bullied for being something the so-called normal kids found strange. Even though I was and still am weird, I tend to get along fine with most people who let me be myself, and oddly enough, when they get to know me, most of the people that have an open mind hold me in high regard. They say my art is cool, interesting, or even phenomenal and fantastic. They find my philosophical insights to be profound and educational. Then there's those who keep spouting their own twisted bullshit opinions about things they know nothing about, or even care about. Those who, when confronted with an idea that goes against their worldviews, respond with threats or even physical violence. There's also the high and mighty doctors and healthcare so-called professionals who would rather put me in a box with a diagnosis and prescribe me with chemicals to control the flow of my thoughts. But I digress. We were on our way back in the dark, and I was still thinking about the possibility that everyone is a ghost. It seemed not just possible, but considering the strangeness that's going on around this place, it's even probable. Now, even though it sometimes seems that we live in a twisted simulation of sorts, that doesn't mean we can't try to make the best of it together, does it? Lately, I've been able to control my environment in ways that I wish I had filmed, like me cracking my knuckles, and the exact amount of knuckles cracked would coincide with leaves falling from trees around me, or me clearing my throat, then turning around to witness a stranger light a cigarette across the street, followed by the wind blowing from behind me towards their direction and subsiding immediately as I turn my gaze back on the road in front of me. And I'm not even mentioning anything about how people I've never seen before seem to sometimes look at me intently as they see me fiddle with my ring, then quickly averting their eyes when I look back at them. So, being able to read minds and affect thoughts through deliberate action, I prefer to spend most of my time trying to ignore my mental strength and loving technology.